Hi everyone. Today we'll be learning about keyword events. So let's get started. So I've got a basic HTML file and a script tag main.js, which is right here, just blank, ready to go. So adding keyword events to your code is very similar to the way that we added click events to our code. And so you always start with a target. In this case, I'm just gonna make my target the entire page. So I want this event to fire whenever anywhere in the page I type something. So document.body, and then we're gonna use a familiar we use a familiar method called add event listener. So we've already seen that with click events, but now our argument instead of click is going to be, we have a few choices. So you see key down, key press, key up. And so let's look at the differences of those. So key up, as you might imagine, is going to fire when you press the key down, but it won't fire until you actually lift your finger back up from the key. So if I do console.log, let's just do hello for now. So I'm going to press the H key and I'm holding it, and nothing's going to happen until I lift my finger off. That's how the key up event's going to work. So press key down, nothing happens. Lift up, the JavaScript happens. And you can essentially kind of view it as like a key press. Now view that in difference to the key down event. Now if I press and hold a key, it's going to keep firing the event over and over again. So I'm pressing and holding keys, and I'm able to console log my message. Awesome. And then finally there's key press, which is very similar to key down. If you press and hold, it's going to fire. So those two are essentially the same. So it basically depends what you want. So if you're looking for something that's not going to repeat as you hold a key, you want the key up event. If you want something to keep happening while they're holding down the key, then you'll use the key down or key press event. And so the next probably obvious question is, well, that's great that we can fire a random message when someone presses a key, but what if I actually want to know what that key is? Well, every event has an event parameter attached to it, so function event, and we can read information off of that event. So we take a look at the event when a key press happens. You'll notice we get a lot of information, and specifically the interesting ones is the key. The most interesting one's the key for sure. So I press the D key, and event.key is going to give me the key I pressed. But there's all kinds of other things here too. You see that the control key is false. I wasn't holding the control key when I pressed it. That might be information you want to know in case you were going to do some sort of keyboard shortcut. Same with the shift key. I wasn't holding the shift key when I pressed it. Versus if I hold shift and press G, now you look, and shift key held is true. So interesting when the key is G. So boiling that down to event.key, you can see that it will log the keys that I've pressed. And so you might be wondering, oh well, that's not very interesting. What can I do with that? Well, oftentimes that's how games are built. So let's say I wanted to build something like a hangman game. I could do something like, and it's gonna be coding theme. So I can do something like make a word bank. Let's see. Let's do. And I'm just gonna put random programming languages. That's pretty good. Maybe one more. Okay. When I think about it, a lot of programming languages are pretty short, and this would probably be a very easy game. So let's say that this is my my word bank that I want to play hangman with, and let's just spruce this up. Let's make a hangman. Guesses left. Span. We'll add a quick IG of guesses to that. And then we'll make H3 and this is going to be our word. Cool. So now we want to set up the game. So guesses left needs to have some sort of guesses left. Let's just make starting guesses equals to 5. You get 5 guesses. And hangman, if you get it right, you don't lose a guess, but if you get it wrong, you do lose a guess. So let's do const guesses L equals document dot query selector. And that was hashtag guesses, I think. Guesses L dot text content equals 5. And so if we save that, we got guesses left 5. Let's put a little semicolon there, so that looks a little nicer. Cool. So that's our guesses left. That's our guesses. Starting guesses is 5. We have 5 guesses on the page, and we want to grab a word and get that set up on the page. So let's do something like let's pick a random word. So that's our usual math.floor, math.random, and think about what we want. We want a random number between 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 and 5. So times 6. So that should give us a random number between 0 and 5, and we will put that into brackets. And so that'll give us a random word. And we can double check ourselves. Not random world, random word. Double check ourselves. So Ruby, Java, Golang, Ruby, Java, Java, Haskell, Python, Ruby, Ruby, Golang. So you can see that we're getting random words. JavaScript basically got all our words there. And now you might be wondering, okay, Michael, well, how do I take that word and do something cool with it? Well, we can do something like this. Const word to guess equals an empty string, and we can do for let I equals 0, and I is less than random word dot length, so we can loop through random word. And for every letter in inside random word, we're going to take word to guess and put a underscore. an underscore space. Or no, an underscore, just an underscore. And then we'll space it out a little bit. And then we'll take this word here on the page, query selector. This should be a let. And we will set its text content to the word to guess. So that'll build our underscores there each time. And let's clean that up a little bit. Let's add a quick style tag or quick CSS style sheet. And we'll do letter spacing 1 And so now every time we pick a word, it's gonna make these underscores, they'll be spaced out a little bit. It's a little too much. There we go. And it'll be the exact number of letters that the word has. And so now inside of our key event, our event listener, we can have some fun. So we are reading what key was pressed. And so if that key, we can grab the index of the key press. So letter index equals random word dot index of event dot key. And so let's see what this does. So we have this index of method, and we're plugging in the key that we typed. We're gonna log it. So the word is Java. So if I hit Q, W, E, those are letters that are not in Java. So it's gonna give me -1. That's just the behavior. If I hit a J, I get a 0. If I hit an A, I get a V. I get a 1. If I hit a V, I get a 2. So obviously 0, 1, and 2 are those indexes. So we are grabbing if that letter that we type is inside of the word, we get that index of that letter inside of that string. So I type J, that's in the 0th position. Just like we remember, we can grab letters from a word with bracket syntax. So but if we get a -1, so if letter index is equal to -1, then we can do something like guesses minus and guesses L dot text content equals guesses. So now you'll see if we starting guesses. So if we start, we get 5. If we hit R, assignment to constant variable. This should be a let too. Cool. So if we hit our word's Python, and so if we hit L and we get -1, that means we didn't match, and so we lose a guess. If I hit PYTHON though, you got those right, so you don't lose any guesses. And So else, we can take the word, so the word to guess, and loop through it. And we can say, if the word to guess if the random word at bracket I, so we're going to loop through the word that we grabbed and check it against the key we pressed, is equal to event.key. And so this is where we're about to do a little bit of work. We'll need to take the word to guess and make a quick word array. Word to guess dot split. And so if the random word I is equal to event.key, we will say word array at I is gonna be set equal to random word at I. So essentially, if we typed a correct letter, it didn't get -1, we're gonna take the word that that's underscored, split it, loop through that word, and if the random word I matches that event.key, we will grab that index that it's at I. We'll know that this word matches this word with number of positions and set that word to that character. And then at the very end of this else, we'll take the word to guess and set it equal to the word array dot join, and set the guesses and set the word element to the text content to the word to guess again. So the word's Python again. So if I hit E, W, if I hit P, I guess it right, and the word will get filled out because it went through the loop and checked. ITHON. And you know, I could then programmatically add alerts and stuff and make this game a little nicer. But essentially, I just wanted to kind of just show you a run through of building up a quick application. All the little tools and pieces involved, so you know, all that stuff doesn't just get thrown away. We're using loops, we're using functions, we're using if statements, we're using arrays, and how we can quickly code up a program on that. So that's all I got. Keyboard events, pretty cool, and hope you like them.